disclaimer. This video isn't anti-spending or anti-capitalism. As liberal and leftist as I am, I'm also a good American who knows and appreciates how much we love buying stuff. We love it. It's amazing. We all love stuff that's sparkly, shiny, expensive, exclusive. We love it. Stuff you don't need, but simultaneously you can't live without. And I know, I get it. You need something to fill that existential void, and doing actual work to better yourself or your community is a lot more work than you're willing to put in. I'm not judging you too harshly. So continue to shop and feel those small hits of dopamine throughout the day that help us get through it. Capitalism, it's only bad if you're poor.
Odio ser pobre, lo odio.
Believe it or not, mi familia, we are at the beginning of a brand new year. This past year, 2020, was, to put it lightly, the year from hell. And we have all been through a lot. Some of us more than others, but we can all agree it's been a lot. Since quite the year just passed us by, I thought we should start off this new year on a much more fun note. Even though the holidays just passed, I'm still feeling festive and I want to do something, well, festive. Traditionally, the holiday season calls for roasting chestnuts on an open flame. And that must be a white person thing because no one I know has ever done that. I'm not going to do that because that could be considered cultural appropriation. So we're not doing that. In the Latino community, it is traditional to get together with those you love and roast each other. It might sound weird if you've never roasted or been roasted, but trust me, it's a lot of fun. You only roast those you love and care about, only. But because of coronavirus, we still can't get together with our loved ones. And even if there wasn't Rona, most of my family doesn't live in the Los Angeles area. They live in other parts of California, other parts of the United States, other parts of the world. So that's also out for me. But I still want to roast something. But what? I know, the culture vultures who think they could get away with appropriating and exploiting someone else's culture for profit. I'm gonna have so much fun roasting those people. And roasting all of those folks should keep me warm in this very unusual cold snap that we're going through right now in East LA. This video won't get too much into cultural appropriation or other academic stuff. That video, and more like it, will be coming soon, but not this video. I felt like I needed a fun little escape and to make this video fun for you guys, so that's what we're doing today. I've drunk already a couple of cans of beer and a couple of bottles of wine, and I just made myself this delicious margarita. Should I be mixing drinks? Well,
it's a bit nutty.
Whoops, wrong clip. Whew.
I also like to live dangerously.
There you go. That's the right clip. I hope this is a fun one. Even though this isn't gonna be a regular academic video, I still want to define one term, and that's culture vulture. I had never heard this term before. I started doing research for this video, but now I know it and I think it's a great term and I want everyone to know it and use it in their everyday vernacular. Urban Dictionary defines culture vulture as a person or an organization making profit using unhonorable practices from a culture they do not care for. I feel like a lot of the designers I'm calling out in this video specifically would fall into the category of white girls in movies who make fun of the ethnic or different girl for being too ethnic or different, then turn around and wear something ethnic or different because it benefits them socially or financially. Why do I frame it that way? because a lot of these designers I'm going to be calling out are in the business of making basic bitch fashion. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just have a hard time believing these pumpkin spice drinking, Ugg boots wearing, everything beige or camel in their closet hanging, huge roots having, nude lip painting, all their friends looking the same homogeneity are gonna come up with colorful, fun, and interesting designs.
Sure, Jan.
Especially when a lot of ethnic stuff in general has been described as tacky and loud and gaudy and garish and flashy and ostentatious. Fun for a costume, but not really high fashion. If you want to do ethnic fashion for yourself, I have a lot of questions, but fine, that's perfectly fine. It's when you start acting like you invented that fashion stuff and then charge through the nose for it, that's when people like me start to get a little cranky. Because who do you think you are?
I invented the piano key necktie! I invented it! What have you done, Derek? Nothing! You've done nothing! Nothing!
Enough with the chacoteo, let's get this roast cooking. Let's start off this roast by calling out one of the most ridiculous things I saw during my research. Neiman Marcus every year around the holidays comes out with designer tamales. Oh my God. When you look this up and you go to their site, you'll find they're selling 72 handmade tamales for the low price of $92 plus $18 shipping and handling. My favorite tidbit from these tamales is that they're gluten-free. Well, no duh. Corn structurally can't produce gluten. That's a wheat thing. Familia, please, if you need some tamales, just go buy some tamales from a lady in your neighborhood or a small family-owned business. I assure you, you'll have tastier, better tamales made with love for far less money than this. Tamales originally, and still very much so today, are an inexpensive way of feeding a crowd. And if you're extra poor, tamales give you something to unwrap on Christmas Day. I love how they give away on their website how out of touch they are with the culture by serving tamales with just like a bunch of chiles, with some random radishes and a small pathetic looking piñata, or this one with chips and salsa. Ay Dios bendito, that's ridiculous. Same thing goes for these Neiman Marcus enchiladas. What are you even doing, Neiman Marcus? These seem to be sold out right now, but look at it. Are these gourmet enchiladas or something from the Taco Bell dollar menu? No. Taco Bell does not insult us this badly. I know a bunch of my Texas Latinos are gonna be like, hey, there's nothing wrong with that much and that kind of cheese on enchiladas. And sure, I guess. Texas Latinos versus California Latinos. There is a fascinating matchup we're gonna talk about. Again, go to a hole-in-the-wall restaurant in the hood. I assure you, I guarantee you, those folks will have very, very good food at a fraction of whatever the hell Neiman Marcus is charging. Kendall and Kylie. These non-creatives decided to appropriate chola culture with this plaid shirt for $145. No. You have to be this bad of a bitch to wear and do chola stuff. Chola culture is all about not conforming to Anglo culture. This is a deliberate look to make sure everyone knows who these women are and where they come from. Making this style accessible to a bunch of basic bitches is a sin, and they need to be shunned from society forever for even attempting to do this. And you should be buying your chola stuff from the swap meet anyway, or from the liquor store, or from one of the off-brand dollar stores. Never from these culture vultures who I guarantee you make fun of the hoop earrings, the exaggerated eyebrows, or the hair.
God, I look like freaking Selena. Oh my God, thank you.
Zara has a couple of entries on this list. First one are these mesh bags. They were selling these mesh bags for $28. these mesh bags that you've seen a lot of Latin folks take to the grocery store. These $2 mesh bags that will last you a surprisingly long time, as opposed to the Zara ones that are trying to appropriate Latin grandma culture? Latin grandma, but make it fashion.
What is this?
It's too hilarious. If you want to do these mesh bags and make it fashion or whatever, you could at least pretend to be creative, make them out of like recycled material or something, do like a good thing for the environment as well. Something, come on. Use your brains a little bit, please. The second Zara blunder is this peasant blouse. At first you might think, well, this is a generic blouse. And I think that might be because designers have been ripping off indigenous peoples for decades now. With the blessing and the curse that the internet is, these indigenous people now have a way to name and shame these lazy, appropriating designers. This specific example is ripped off from the Tzel artisans from the Mexican state of Chiapas. But other designers from Hidalgo, Oaxaca, and Chiapas have pointed out all the other occasions where designers have ripped them off.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie.
Mara Hoffman. These are the latest designs from Mara Hoffman. Very basic, very run-of-the-mill, very, very boring. So you're telling me that this designer came up with this print? This is a gorgeous print that is unmistakably ethnic. This print was ripped off from the Otomi people of central Mexico. They came up with this embroidery or bordado based on paintings made by tribal shaman. So this one doesn't just have cultural significance, but a deep religious significance as well.
Sacrilegious.
This one's a two birds with one stone situation. Designers Isabel Marant and Carolina Herrera. First, Isabel Marant, who was selling this poncho for $650. This design is ripped off from the tribe that geographically, I think my family comes from. To be fair, this poncho coat was actually serving me more man with no name realness. Is there a culture these people will not appropriate? Then there's this blouse. The traditional ones look nicer and better made. The traditional ones look like they're worth your time and money. The knockoffs look very, very cheap and very, very bad.
I said what I said.
Then there's Carolina Herrera with this dress. This design is called Salito Zarape, and this is supposed to be a beautiful, colorful design that goes back traditionally all the way to the ancient Aztecs, the Mexica. Now it's used to caricature Mexican people. Google Mexican man in a poncho, and this is the design that comes up. Insult Mexicans, but make it fashion. This dress is from her 2020 collection. This should not be a thing anymore en el año de nuestro Señor 2020.
¿Sabes? Voy a pedirle a Dios para que te ilumine o te elimine.
The funniest thing on this whole list to me, designer huaraches. Oh my god, that's hilarious. These are from Urban Outfitters and from Tom's. But I remember a couple of years ago walking around the higher end mall out here in Cerritos, seeing new designs and a hot new trend in the windows of some of those stores. And I looked down and there were huaraches. Freaking paguaraches allá en mi rancho. Huaraches are not stylish. They're not made to be stylish. They were designed to protect your feet while you're out working in the fields. But I guess if you want to serve poor indito realness, huaraches are the way to go?
No, la pendeja.
Do not, I repeat, do not make Frida Kahlo fashion. Don't do it. Don't you ever do it. Stop doing it. Don't do it anymore. Just don't. Both Dolce & Gabbana and Carolina Herrera decided to do Frida Kahlo fashion. And I can't. I can't.
No! Hell no! 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 I refuse! No! No!
I'm working on a video right now explaining why making Frida Kahlo fashion is a disgrace, so hang tight for that one. All I'll say right now is that I doubt a feminist, communist, authentic radical would not appreciate being the face of makeup and fashion for these massive hyper-capitalist companies. Just call it a hunch I have. Please stop it with this nonsense. Like I said at the beginning, this isn't a don't shop video. Since you are shopping and will continue to shop, I encourage you to buy locally from small businesses or buy from places you know aren't hyper-capitalist and have actually made tons of money during this pandemic, or buy directly from the artisans themselves. I will have a few links from sites that have already compiled lists for the Latina-owned fashion down in the carcancha down there. Have a wonderful start to the new year. Stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands, keep everybody at a safe distance. Here's to a peaceful end to the toilet paper wars, an end to this completely preventable pandemic, and my eternal optimism about 2021. We have nowhere to go but up. Salud!